He may have been the acting president since July of last year, but it took an investiture last weekend to make it official. Andy Feinstein is the president of the University of Northern Colorado.
UNC takes the time to honor the success of its students. We tell you how the College of Humanities and Social Sciences does just that. This is Bear News.
Thanks for joining us once again. My name is Tanner Schwint.
And I'm Zoe Campbell.
In a way, the presidential investiture on Friday was a formality because Dr. Andy Feinstein is nearing the one-year mark as UNC president. But in addition to officially naming Feinstein as the university's 13th president, the event included several more firsts. In front of nearly 600 UNC trustees, former UNC presidents, and presidents from colleges all over the country, Feinstein spoke of everything from the opening of the new campus commons to the current budget struggles that confront the university. Among those speaking at the investiture were student body president Tim Hernandez and Greeley Mayor John Gates. In addition to formally naming Feinstein as president, the university also celebrated the grand opening of the new campus commons. On behalf of Bear News, we wish the new president good luck as he leads the university for the future. Prom season is officially upon us, and this year high school juniors and seniors weren't the only ones who got to have this special night. As my co-anchor Zoe Campbell tells us, the Best Buddies Club got to have their own evening of glitz and glamour as they hosted their prom in the UC.
It's prom day at UNC for the Best Buddies organization. Everyone's dressed up and ready to have a great time, and I'll take you inside to take a look at all the fun.
Dresses, check. Tuxedos, check. Decorations, check. And what have you got? A prom, of course. This year's Best Buddies prom was in the Panorama Room and the perfect venue for all of the fun. The prom festivities began with some light refreshments, but prom goers would soon work it off. Shortly after eating, the buddies were ready to hit the dance floor and show off their best dance moves. Almost everyone participated in the line dances, including the cha-cha slide, which brought plenty of smiles and giggles. And what came to follow? A talent show. Buddies got to show their hidden and maybe not so hidden talents. Acts ranged from singing to popular songs, dancing to Hairspray, or telling jokes.
Knock, knock. Boo. Go fight, make me tell you a joke.
The comedian for the night was Mark Jerk, who said he enjoys being a part of the Best Buddies organization.
I get to know people, and my main goal is to help people out when they need it.
While no prom king or queen was officially crowned for the evening, that night we could all see the king and queen in everyone. Reporting from the University Center, I'm Zoe Campbell, Bear News.
Zoe, as always, crushed that. You can get more updates on Best Buddies events and fundraisers on their Facebook page.
Middle school seems like a distant memory, right? Well, maybe not so distant. Nearly 250 8th grade boys made their middle school years more memorable by attending the 16th Annual Latino Youth Leadership Conference at UNC. The conference is aimed to inspire and expose young men about opportunities in higher education. Gaps in Latino graduation rates and a rise in dropout rates in higher education are also motivations for the conference. Sigma Lambda Beta Fraternity and the Cesar Chavez Cultural Center collaborated to make the event possible. Senior Marco Galindo attended the event in 2011. Coming full circle, he is now the director for the conference.
The Latino Youth Leadership Conference is an important event to me because this is an event where we bring in over 200 students, 200 8th grade students across Weld County, and we just give them things on how to become a better man, how to become a good person in your community.
Assistant UNC Vice President for Campus and Community Climate, Tobias Guzman, welcomed the packed room. And Adjunct Professor of Mexican American Studies, Jesse Tijerina, addressed the value of education as the keynote speaker. Cultural awareness, self-esteem, leadership, and education were the main topics in the breakout sessions. UNC student mentors helped to provide guidance and education during the workshops. The Latino Youth Leadership Conference is in the past. The Latina Youth Leadership Conference is just around the corner. That leadership conference is Monday, April 22nd. As it does every year, the College of Humanities and Social Sciences honored students within the college at its Honors Convocation Sunday. College departments gave awards to about 120 students. Faculty, students, and their families gathered in the UC ballrooms and indulged in light refreshments along with celebrating the honors. College Dean Laura Connolly opened the ceremony by thanking guests and acknowledging her helpful staff for the event. Recognition began with the African Studies Department, which recognized 3 students for their academic achievements. The program continued with awards from the Departments of Anthropology, the School of Communication, and Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice, History, Leadership Studies, Philosophy, Political Science and International Affairs, Sociology, and World Languages and Cultures. Student Body President Tim Hernandez received the Outstanding Undergraduate Research Award. He delivered his keynote speech about education, citing that education is about empathy. Students weren't the only ones getting awards. Associate Dean Dr. Chris Marston presented 4 faculty awards recognizing excellence in advising, service, scholarship, and diversity in the classroom. Dr. Whitney Duncan from Anthropology, Dr. Dawit Senbet from Economics, Dr. Brian Iannacion from Criminology and Criminal Justice. Boy, this is a mouthful.
You got it.
And Dr. Karen Barton from Geography, GIS, and Sustainability all received faculty awards. We at Bear News want to say congratulations to all of this year's recipients, and we also want to point out that 4 members of the Bear News crew received awards.
I think you should receive an award for that, Reed.
Thank you. Thank you. A pro-life group took to UNC to create conversations about abortion. More information on the demonstration coming up after the break.
And UNC students take a stand and act to bring people together in the face of mental health issues. We will have that too. Don't click away.
All right, give me a spot. You know my motto, safety first.
They could be dangerous. I think we should call animal control.
Animal control?
To be safe.
Don't worry. I got this. It's a new motto.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Here's your check.
Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every year, the World Health Association holds World Health Day during April. They pick a different theme each year to bring awareness to a health problem the world faces. And this year's theme, universal health coverage. The campaign aims to help people better understand what universal health coverage means. The day also highlights opportunities to create worldwide health care, not only for individuals, but also for multiple economies and societies. World Health Day also serves as an opportunity for governments to take action toward universal health coverage. The day also highlights healthcare progress made so far. For more information about actions toward universal healthcare coverage, visit the World Health Organization website. You probably saw the emails or the signs on the sidewalk. An anti-abortion group held a 2-day demonstration at UNC last week. The anti-abortion club, UNC Students for Life, invited the national organization to campus. Justice for All visits campuses around the country with visual exhibits to create conversations about abortion. The demonstration took place on the west lawn of McKee Hall. In emails to students, UNC highlighted the university's duty to host any peaceful group on campus. The school also posted signs around the demonstration warning about graphic content. A Justice for All representative said the demonstration didn't have any graphic content and that students appreciated the discussion. Read more about the demonstration and find resources for anyone that might have been impacted by the group's presence at uncmirror.com.
To raise awareness and bring people together, UNC held its first ever Out of the Darkness walk last weekend, and Bear News reporter James Conlon was on hand to tell us about it.
The cause on Saturday was suicide prevention, as UNC student and walk organizer Rhiannon Parent said, Events like this are needed on campus.
And then I really wanted to start one here since there wasn't anything like that. And I think that talking about mental health on campuses is really important. So.
And before all of the walking could start, a whole lot of talking took place. They set up booths so people could learn more about suicide prevention and to donate to the cause. The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention was behind the walk, and Colorado chapter head Nancy Medina was on hand to talk about how students can get involved.
So the easiest way to get involved with AFSP locally would be to get on the website afsp.org/Colorado.
For students who won't be able to come out to future events and may be struggling with mental health issues, Rhiannon Nancy and Colorado Area Director for the AFSP, Sherry Cole, have a message for you.
Everybody should know that there is a national suicide prevention lifeline number. It's 1-800-273-TALK, which is 1-800-273-8255.
Shout, ask for help. A lot of times people don't know that there's something going on with you, so don't be afraid to speak up because people will help you and they will listen.
On a personal note, to anybody struggling, I would just say, you know, I see you and I support you and I love you, and reach out and connect.
If you're struggling with mental health issues, you can call the Colorado Crisis Service at 1-844-493-8255, or you can text TALK to 38255. UNC's Michener Library is offering students a mixture of art and history. Participating in Northern Colorado's annual Voices from the Holocaust Memorial, the Mary Michener Gallery hosted a reception on Friday honoring artist Martin Mandela's Delsberg Holocaust portfolio. The creators designed the memorial's observances to educate the public about the dangers of prejudice and racism and bigotry. Mendelberg's collection features 50 pieces based on letters from the Hebrew alphabet and concepts such as prayer, metaphor, and hope. The exhibit is on display in the library until May 3rd.
Spring has sprung and it's finally starting to look like it. John Polydorus will have more on that in weather.
And a beloved landmark of human history fell victim to a fire last Monday, and now the world responds. We will see you after this.
Hey, I'm Anderson Cooper. As a parent, you want to make sure that your child knows how to deal with bullying when they see it happening. And chances are they want to help, but they don't really know how. Well, teach them that the best thing to do is calmly walk away, find a teacher or other adult, and speak up. And do your part. Be that adult they can talk to and trust will listen. Join me to help stop bullying. Go to stopbullying.gov to find out more.
You sure you don't want some? It's chamomile. Listen, you are extremely terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm gonna have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.
With the weather warming up, it seems like it's time to shed winter coats and bust out shorts and t-shirts. While the sun and warmer weather are inviting, they can also be damaging. Why? Well, Bear News reporter Renee Ortiz joins us as she always does to explain in her health tip of the week.
Thanks, Zoe. While the sun brings hot summer days, it also brings lots of problems with your skin. With this in mind, my health tip for the week is this: take care of your skin. Colorado is already a naturally dry climate. Combine that with excessive exposure to the sun and you have a recipe for skin problems. Excessive time in direct sunlight can cause your skin to burn, which essentially means you've exposed your skin to the sun's radiation so much, your skin changes pigment. And while that golden tan might seem like it's worth it, you're closer and closer to developing skin cancer. Simple remedies include wearing a light SPF sunscreen every day and limiting your time in direct sunlight. Another tip, be sure to always keep your skin moisturized. As always, be sure to check in with your doctor and dermatologist for any issues with your skin. So be a good bear and treat your skin with care. Back to you, Zoe.
Thanks, Renee. Bear News brings you weekly health tips to keep you all happy and healthy, so be sure to tune in next week. April snow showers will hopefully be bringing May flowers, but John Polydorus tells us exactly what to expect from the week to come and a little about the wind we are seeing.
And indeed, it is windy out there. Taking a look at our campus view right now, we've got the sun shining over the freshly built campus commons with a few alto cumulus clouds rolling overhead. Taking a look at our current conditions right now, we've got 62 degrees with relatively low humidity and dew point, but that high pressure is what's giving us these 26-mile-an-hour sustained winds with gusts up into the 40-mile-an-hour range. So if you're driving on the highway alongside trucks and high-profile vehicles, give them a little extra space today. But taking a look at our national fronts right now, we've got this low pressure system sitting over Texas, which is causing tornadic activity, heavy flash flooding, thunderstorms in the southeast region. But if we take a look up into the northwest region, we can see this high pressure that's going to be moving into the Colorado region, and it's what's giving us those high winds right now and through tonight. But taking a look at the national wind forecast, we can see that hot spot right over eastern Colorado, western Kansas, western Nebraska, that's giving us those high winds. And if we take one more closer look into Colorado, we can see it's centered right over the eastern plains, but Denver's actually protected over here just a little bit by the mountains. And we're seeing those gusts reach up into 40 miles an hour. This is the sustained wind speed right at 25 miles an hour is this green area here. But taking a look at our weekend forecast ahead, we've got a bluebird day on Friday, 75 degrees, sunny conditions. But moving on into Saturday, our high's going to go up a little bit, but we're going to have some clouds roll in, which is going to foreshadow our weekend ahead with some showers coming in Sunday night, and our high is going to drop. Looking on into our 5-day forecast next week, we've got a chance of showers Monday morning. Clouds will roll through into that day, and those clouds will linger into Tuesday, but we'll have a little bit of a higher temperature at 62 on Sunday. Looking on into the rest of the week, though, we've got 72 on Wednesday with mostly sunny conditions, 77 on Thursday, and then even into Friday, we've got the 77 degrees with some showers happening later into the night. Back to you guys.
Well, anytime you see history go up in smoke, it usually takes a second to step back and come to grips with what is happening. Now the fire is out. The world is reflecting on that history. One person doing that reflecting is Bear News producer Ben Shumate.
The centuries-old symbol of a nation, standing through revolution and world wars, now stands in ruin. The Cathedral of Notre Dame in Paris caught fire in the late afternoon last Monday. The fire raged through the night, collapsing the 300-foot spire and the roof to the church, and crushing part of the history of France and the Catholic Church with it.
No part of Notre Dame's history has been quick. It took 182 years for the original building to be completed, spanning from 1163 to 1345. They've restored parts of the cathedral over the years. Restoration work on the cathedral lasted 25 years in the 19th century. No part of Notre Dame's history has been easy either. During the French Revolution, the church was ransacked, plundered, and many statues and relics were destroyed. It was the coronation place for leaders like Napoleon Bonaparte after the crown was removed from Pope Pius VII in 1804. It was the backdrop to wars, being at the center of the fighting in the Second World War, and yet it stood as the backdrop to victory, and a solemn service for U.S. soldiers to honor President Roosevelt after his death in 1945. Priceless artifacts of religious descent came to rest there. The crown of thorns believed to be the one placed on Jesus' head, and a piece of wood believed to have come from the cross on which Jesus was crucified are just a few. Notre Dame had 856 years of its own history and housed thousands of years of the world's. But it took few hours to jeopardize all of that. Last Monday at about 6:30 in Paris, a fire lit that destroyed the entirety of the wooden roof and frame of the building, compromising the centuries-old structure and making the complete destruction of the church a possibility. There was an outpouring of mourning not only from the people of Paris or those of the Catholic faith, but from the entire world. And it wasn't just because of its religious symbolism, but because of what it means to human history. I asked UNC students their reaction to the inferno.
I was very sad. So I have family actually that comes from over there. My dad just recently visited before the fire, so it was really hard for him, I think. I remember one thing he said specifically was that's a lot of history in that smoke, so that was sad.
Honestly, I was shocked. It was incredibly sad, and I think it's still sad knowing that it's going on, but it was definitely, I don't want to say reassuring, but I guess in a way to see the community just bind together.
We literally were talking about this in art. I don't know, it's like so sad because like that's such a big like piece of like history. I don't know. It was also really shocking, like you wouldn't expect that to like burn, I don't know.
Our Lady, the translation of Notre Dame, was loved worldwide, attracting double the amount of tourists that the Eiffel Tower did year by year, and roughly 30,000 a week. It's possible this Holy Week, in which the Christian world celebrates the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus, would have brought over 50,000. Notre Dame will not come back to life in 3 days. But perhaps the most accurate depiction of every cathedral's purpose, every faith's reason, and every comfort for every tear cried this week comes from a fictitious book in a fictitious room in a very real place. In Victor Hugo's classic The Hunchback of Notre Dame, there is an inscription in a room of one of the church's towers that reads Cipra Sepra, or in translation, breathe and hope. People gathered outside the cathedral Monday to sing their prayers, or in translation, to breathe and hope.
So here's what we know now. The fire destroyed the spire and collapsed the roof of the building, but the building itself remains structurally sound. And there has been over $1 billion in donations so far to rebuild the church, and French President Emmanuel Macron has been calling for the building to be rebuilt in the next 5 years, but some speculate it might take a bit longer. So guys, back to you.
Well, there's no doubt that we've got thoughts and prayers going out to everybody affected by this, but also we talked about donations. Go and find that online and make sure, if you can, to contribute.
A few weeks gone, and it was looking good for many UNC sports teams as they pulled off hard-fought victories.
And it wasn't just UNC sports in the spotlight. Colorado sports fans, in general, have reason to be excited as their teams head into the playoffs. Courtney Lockey's back, and she'll have all of that coming up in sports.
Hey, I'm Anderson Cooper. As a parent, you want to make sure that your child knows how to deal with bullying when they see it happening. And chances are they want to help, but they don't really know how. Well, teach them that the best thing to do is calmly walk away, find a teacher or other adult, and speak up. And do your part. Be that adult they can talk to and trust will listen. Join me to help stop bullying. Go to stopbullying.gov to find out more.
You sure you don't want some? It's chamomile. Listen, you are extremely terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm gonna have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.
The Bears escaped the chill of Greeley to set fire on track at the Triton Invitational this weekend. The Bears traveled to UC San Diego, where both the men and women athletes made their marks. Juniors Jeremy Romero, Josh Campbell, and freshman Ryan Lemuth all set personal records in the 5,000 meter. Romero and Campbell followed that trend into their 1,500 meter as they both broke their respective PRs. The highest placement of the day for the Bears came from freshman Kyle Thomas, who took second in the 400 meter. The women shined in the high jump, with sophomore Kylie Chavez clearing 1.62 to place fourth. Junior Michaela Bauer followed that with a 1.65 to secure fourth in the Invitational, with graduate McKenna McGrath securing fifth at the same height. Chavez continued her success by breaking her personal best in the triple jump with an 11.63 mark. The men's team finished second in the Invitational, while the women finished seventh. Next up for the Bears, they host the UNC Invite tomorrow right here in Greeley. So be sure to go and check that out if you're in town. Another series for the softball team, and another series that came down to the very last game. After splitting the first two games of the series with Southern Utah, UNC had to win on Saturday to walk away with the final victory. The Bears started off with a game and they got out to a quick lead to go up 3-0, but the Thunderbirds had an 8-run third inning that had the Bears looking for answers. That's when the slugfest took place at UNC, and UNC answered with 7 runs in the fifth to reclaim the lead. But the lead didn't last long. The Thunderbirds responded with 5 runs in the bottom of the fifth, and that gave them the lead for good. Southern Utah went on to win the game 16-11. The two teams combined for 27 runs and 33 hits. The softball team comes back to the friendly confines of Gloria Rodriguez Field to open up a final 3-game home series with Sacramento State on Friday and Saturday. Taking a look at tennis, the women's team's drought is finally over. After losing 7 straight matches in conference play, the women picked up a 5-2 win over Colorado Mesa before heading into the final match of the season. After the men's team got the W over Mesa, the women came out hot, looking to do the same. The Bears swept the doubles matches to go up 1-0 early. Number 3, Rafa Mora, and number 4, Madeline Doherty, picked up the first singles points for the Bears, winning 6-1, 6-0, and 6-1, 6-3, respectively. Number 2, Sandra Kita, clinched the win for the Bears with a 6-0, 6-2 victory. Serena Chabra also won her singles match at the number 5 spot, 6-2, 6-1. The women played their final match of the year earlier today and fell to a strong CSU team. The women went 7-15 overall and 1-10 in conference play. Well, this was Coach Chad Stoloff's first season with the Bears, so hopefully the women's team will have a bright future. The men's team sent their seniors out on a high note, picking up back-to-back wins over the weekend. The men kicked off the weekend by sweeping Colorado Mesa, and on Sunday, the Bears weren't going to let their seniors take an L on their special day. The Bears battled with Portland State, eventually coming out on top, 4-3. PSU took the doubles point early with wins on the number 1 and 3 courts. The Vikings added 2 more points, with wins coming from the number 2 and 4 singles. But that's where the winning stopped for the Vikings. At the number 1 spot, Kyle Pease took a 6-3, 6-4 victory. Julian Kenzlers followed with a 6-0, 6-4 win of his own on the number 3 court. The Bears needed wins from both the 5 and 6 spots to secure the win. Nick Wade tied things up for the Bears with a 6-0, 6-4 win, leaving it up to Tommy Smalley. After dropping his first set 4-6, Smalley rallied to come out on top in a hard-fought third set, sending PSU home winless. The Bears have won 5 out of their last 6 matches. The men are wrapping up their doubleheader from today with Nebraska, Omaha, and New Mexico. They only have 1 match left in the Big Sky, and it's a big one. The Bears are right on the edge of making it into the conference playoffs. We'll tell you how it all turned out next time. It's the biggest stage in the game of golf, Augusta National, aka the Masters. Many golfers look forward to this moment, walking up the 18th fairway, hearing the chants and roars from the crowd. And this year's Masters did not disappoint. In fact, many said it was the most exhilarating Masters since '97. That was the first time that Tiger Woods walked up 18 knowing that he had a green jacket waiting. This year, he did it again. Woods got in the top 5 from the start, posting a 70 in round 1. From there, nothing stopped him. Friday's second round was even better as he posted 4 under 68. The third was just as good as he posted a 69. But he was still 2 shots behind the leader, Francesco Molinari. Then Sunday, Woods stepped onto the first tee in his Sunday red and black, ready for a comeback. It only took Molinari's double bogey at 12 and at 15 for Woods to take the lead. So Woods walked up 18 green, hearing the roars for the first time since he had several back surgeries. Woods put that memorial green jacket on for the 5th time in his career, 14 years after his last win in 2005. With 5 green jackets, he only needs 1 more to tie the greatest master champion, Jack Nicklaus. And finally tonight, playoff fever is in full swing in Denver this week as both the Denver Nuggets and the Colorado Avalanche have started playoff runs. As Bear News reporter Joe Buchanan tells us, it has been a while since both went to the postseason.
The last time both the Nuggets and the Avalanche were in the playoffs at the same time, there was only 2 Toy Story films, and audiences were gearing up for the first part of the Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Both of these 2010 teams look very different from their current rosters. The Nuggets, who are making their first playoff appearance since 2013, have the 4th youngest team in the NBA. The only starter with any playoff experience is power forward Paul Millsap, who led both the Atlanta Hawks and the Utah Jazz to playoffs before being traded to Denver. The Avs have a different look coming into the playoffs. Most players on the team have playoff experience from the last playoff run last year. The Avalanche entered the playoffs last Thursday in the second wildcard slot, playing against the top seed Calgary Flames. The Nuggets are sitting more comfortably, entering with the second seed. They're competing in the first round against the 7th seed San Antonio Spurs. The series began Saturday. With playoff atmosphere in the air, the Pepsi Center is expecting massive crowds and national attention. The Nuggets held tailgating parties prior to both home games of the series so far, and the Avalanche plan to hold tailgating parties for each of their home games as well.
Thanks, Joe. While Denver is getting used to being in the national limelight, us Bears have been lucky enough to see both our hockey and basketball teams already make it to the playoffs these past 2 years.
Yeah, it's exciting times in Denver sports. It was a heck of a comeback the Nuggets posted the other night.
Yeah, I was sitting there watching it, getting so mad at Murray, and then 21 points, I guess. I got to let it go.
Yeah, I have to tell you, I have been a bad sports fan this year. I haven't really been paying attention to basketball.
You're a Warriors fan too, right?
Well, I certainly am. Yeah. So.
Send the hate mail to her.
So that does it for tonight. Thanks for joining us.
Remember, Bear News is your source for all things UNC all the time. And make sure you join us next week for our last show of the semester. Everyone out there, have a great evening.